Okay, now it started.
What?
Yeah, the countdown was 10 this time. That was weird.
Mine, I'm already at 20 seconds.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
weird. Okay, anyway, we'll just start fresh, I guess. Okay.
So what are we gonna do?
Whew. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Okay, but we need more than that.
I mean, you can rhyme over top if you
No,
want, but that's all I got, brother.
no, whatever. That's good enough. Hi,
Hi, I'm Jess.
I'm Hannah.
Oh my god, this is episode 16?
I think so.
16.
16.
Sweet 16 of the Badly Annotated Reader Society.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our second genre swap. Ooh,
Woo.
we're already on a number 2 of something. That's so exciting. Look at us go.
Our series are becoming series now.
Ah. Yeah, this is where it starts to unfurl that we've actually have like plans upon plans upon plans upon plans.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. The keep is popping.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, this was one of our OG ideas. So I'm glad that we're this ball is a rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, how are you?
I'm good. That's a lie. I'm not having a very good day. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But that's okay. It happens sometimes. And I just got up and I wore a cute little outfit, and that helped.
Yeah.
And yeah, just went to school, went to work. Now I'm here.
hmm
So
She even ate food today.
I did eat food today.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 meals. I've got another one after this.
Claps, claps.
So we're okay. We're vibing. I'm in my pajamas right now.
There we go.
So
Same.
really, what could possibly be going wrong?
Exactly.
Like, is it like sometimes I just sit and I just think, I'm really out here. I'm a ghost driving a meat suit made of recycled stardust on a floating rock in outer space. Like, is it ever that serious?
I guess not.
No. So, yeah, I feel like I'll be okay. I'm just kind of having a low day. But the saving grace today, though, I'll tell you what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. And I did not have high hopes for this, okay? This was an impulse buy the last time I went to Powell City of Books in Portland. Shout out, if you've never been there, you need to go there. I spend like 7 hours in there every time I go. And this book is on Kindle Unlimited, but I happened to see it for a good price and it was really pretty, and so I bought it. But it wasn't like part of my plans, and so it sort of like went to the back burner. And then the other day I was like, like I just really want a romance. I just need to cut all of this like school reading and podcast reading, and I just need like a palate cleanser. And so I picked it up. It's a romance. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling, and let me just say, okay?
Oh.
Hades is very quickly coming up on my list of like top 10 book boyfriends. Okay, I'm only a third of the way into the book, so I don't know, maybe he sucks by the end, but right now he's up there, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. So that was a silver lining in my day. Also, I went through my whole day knowing that I was going to see you, so
Oh, wow.
so I feel better.
That's love, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. How are you?
I'm doing good. Oh, okay. I had a moment today, and so we've talked about object permanence before, the clear fridge issue.
Yeah.
Part of that is that if I'm not right in front of somebody, I don't think I exist to them. Okay? Like,
Okay.
it baffles me that other human beings can just like perceive me sometimes and like remember me when I'm not right in front of them.
Do you think I just forget you?
Oh no. I know that that's not true, but I forget. Okay.
Okay.
I forget
Uh-huh.
because it's just like I cannot picture who I am from somebody else's point of view.
Uh-huh.
It's very hard. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And so a lot of the time that goes into like I have no idea what my first impression is on people. And I had a moment today where I've got this little study group at school.
Oh,
Okay.
cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. Girl gang. We went to a sex convention together. Um,
As you do, as the girlies,
as the girlies do. And so I don't know how they got onto this topic, but all of a sudden they were all just saying their first impressions of one another. And then they all turned to me. And all of them said that they thought that because I have hella tattoos and I mentioned the podcast, that I was just the coolest bitch around. And one of them,
Yo,
oh my
facts,
God, it
though.
was so
Facts.
cute. It was so cute. I sat beside her our first medical terminology class because I was like, oh God, I don't know where to sit. That one looks kind of friendly. And so I sat there. And she said that after that, she went home and told her mom about me and how this really cool person sat beside her. She had a lot of really cool tattoos. And I was just like, oh my God.
I mean, to be fair, when I first met you, I immediately went home and told my dad about it. Like, I did the
Yeah.
same thing.
Oh my God. And then, yeah, and this other girl was also just like, yeah, the like second day you said that my sweater looked really cozy. And then I went home and told my boyfriend that this really cool girl called me cozy. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I see that. You have cool girl energy for sure.
I don't know where it came from. But that it caught me off guard today in like in a positive way. Not in like I don't want to act like I'm fishing because like this was very out of left field. It's just something that stuck with me from my day today.
No, but it was so positive and nice.
It was so cute. And yeah, they were all just like, yeah, we thought you were like some bad bitch. And then turns out you just read books all day. And I was like, yeah, how cool is that? And they're like, yeah, we
Listen.
thought you were cool and you still are. You have a podcast, dude, and you're covered in ink. And I was just like, oh shit, I am.
That's so funny to me. That's right. Bad bitches read books.
I was like, man, you guys like think about me?
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
People do think about you, yes.
Yeah, that scares me sometimes when I remember that.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a little odd. It's that object permanence.
I think it's kind of cool to think about the fact that like there's a different version of me that exists
Oh
in
yeah,
the minds
in
of
every single
person
person's brain.
I've met. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I find that baffling because I know me from my point of view, but like I struggle to think of what I would be like from someone else's.
That's pretty accurate, their assessment, I would say. I got that
Yeah.
impression from you in high school when you had no tattoos. So
I just ooze that big dick energy.
you do, honestly. Love that for you.
Moral of the story.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, I opened up a book today expecting it to be a full book, and then I learned that it was only a short story.
That's fucked up.
So I went in expecting 300 to 400 pages. Turned out it was 29.
How was it though? Was it good at least?
It was fine.
Oh.
Could
Aw.
have been longer.
Yeah, I guess so.
But it was fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you're currently reading?
The Bible.
I forget that you're doing a full read of the Bible. I keep
Yeah.
forgetting that you're doing that, and then randomly you'll mention the Bible, and then I'm like, oh shit. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
just for research purposes. But no, yes, I started a new book on my way home. It was The Eyes Are the Best Part
Ew.
by
Already you.
who are you by?
Who am I by? My parents.
Yeah, I know. I love them. They do great work. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim.
Okay, what is that about? It sounds like it would be unsettling for me.
It is. It's a thriller. It's set in Korea, I believe. At least the first few chapters are. Ji-won's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her appa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother distraught, her younger sister hurt and confused, her college freshman grades failing, her dreams horrifying, yet enticing. In them, Ji-won walks through bloody rooms full of eyes, succulent blue eyes, salivating blue eyes, eyes the same shape and shade as George's, who is Uma's obnoxious new boyfriend. George has already overstayed his welcome in her family's claustrophobic apartment. He brags about his puffed-up consulting job, ogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescending toward Ji-won and her sister, as if he deserves all of Uma's fawning adoration. No, George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Ji-won will make sure of that. For no matter how many victims accumulate around her campus, or how many people she must deceive and manipulate, Ji-won's hunger and her rage deserve to be sated.
Okay. That's exactly what I was expecting from something with that title, and I was correct in my initial assessment.
Yeah, so it's something a little freaky deaky. It's something a little spooky. Something with some frights in it.
Nice. Sounds like your thing.
Little bit of murder, a little bit of gore, some body horror, as one does.
I know how much you love all that.
Yeah, you want to tell me about it?
I will in a second, but I just realized that your shirt says thick-skinned and horny on it. And I just got so distracted by that.
It's a picture of a rhino.
I know.
For reference.
I can see the rhino. I saw the rhino, and then you sat up straight, and then I saw what it said. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't know what I was expecting from you wearing a rhinoceros shirt.
Yeah, to be honest, it's vintage as well. I got it in Vancouver, in Little Italy. And
oh my god.
Thick-skinned and horny. I love this shirt.
Oh, that's so on brand. I'm like, and then you wonder why you give cool girl energy. Like you're tatted up wearing shirts like that.
You know what?
Reading horror in public.
I see it.
Yeah, you do see it now.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my god, that's
wow.
so funny. Anyways, yeah, I would love to tell you about it. For our genre swap. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So Jess made me read Bunny by Mona Awad. And I am upset. I'm upset. I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I just want to say someone needs to remove the word erotic from this author's vocabulary. Horrible. Don't ever use that word in my presence again. No, thank you. Just right off the bat. Just had to throw that out there. And so I'll read a little description for you. Let me pull it up.
Please do.
I swear to God, I'm a professional and I was prepared. Hang on. Okay. The description is: Samantha Heather Mackey couldn't be more of an outsider in her small, highly selective MFA program at New England's Warren University. Already I'm annoyed because I've read it and I know what that means. A scholarship student who prefers the company of her dark imagination to that of most people, she is utterly repelled by the rest of her fiction writing cohort, a clique of unbearably twee rich girls who call each other Bunny and seem to move and speak as one. But everything changes when Samantha receives an invitation to the Bunny's fabled smut salon and finds herself inexplicably drawn to their front door, ditching her only friend Ava in the process. As Samantha plunges deeper and deeper into the Bunny's sinister yet chagrin world, beginning to take part in the ritualistic off-campus workshop where they conjure their monstrous creations, the edges of reality begin to blur. Soon her friendships with Ava and the Bunnies will be brought into deadly collision. The spellbinding new novel from one of our most fearless chroniclers of female experience, Bunny is a down-the-rabbit-hole tale of loneliness and belonging, friendship and desire, and the fantastic and terrible power of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate, not wrong. Reading this, I've read about half of it. It's a DNF for me. It's a DNF. I couldn't do it anymore. But I can see why you love it so much.
Uh-huh.
And I see why it spoke to you.
Uh-huh.
And I respect that so much. And I love that for you. And I support you on that journey. However, that is a journey you shall walk alone. Okay? I will not be joining you. Okay? The body horror.
I walk this lonely road.
The body horror, I just couldn't do it, okay? I'm gonna get spoilery, okay? Starting now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The exploding heads. No. Sorry, no. I'm sorry. I don't need a page-long description of the bits of skull that are stuck to you after this explosion. Disgusting. No, I'm over it. I don't want that at all. And then, oh my god, these characters are insufferable, okay? It's sort of like Mean Girls meets a cult meets, like, sorority.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. But oh my god, the main character.
Like if Mean Girls meets murder in a book, what's not to love?
What's not to love? The exploding heads, Jess. The exploding heads.
I loved it.
Also, just the animal, like the animal gore, like those poor little bunnies. Like they're turning bunnies into men,
yeah.
and I just like the poor little bunnies. It's so upsetting for me, and I just couldn't deal with that, and I had to stop.
I mean, they seem to like not hate it until they did, but
until they explode.
Yeah, but before then they're having a good time. They're getting laid at least.
Oh, I don't think I even made it that far. I just made it to a bunny exploded and then there was a man and they had to cut off his head because he started screaming, and that was like one of the drafts. It was so creepy. Anyways, it's so creepy.
Yeah, the drafts.
Yeah, it's so creepy. And the one thing I did like, and I did make a note about it, I did annotate this, so I do have annotations for you. But there was one point. Oh yeah, here I said, so like there's this in this scene where she's like going to class with one of these quote unquote bunnies, like one of the girls in the group, and she's talking to this classmate as they're taking getting a ride to school, and I highlighted it. My voice sounds eerily alien to me, like it belongs to this other woman who's strapped in a van beside a homicidal lunatic. I want to tell this woman to run away, unlock the van and run, but she is calm. She stays in her seat. And the note I made on that was, okay, fine. I see the psychological aspect Jess was talking about, and in this one instance, it's cool. So there were moments where I could see it and I was enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And some of the prose in the beginning of the book too was really beautiful. And then I look out the window, I see green leaves, I see boy blood, green leaves, boy blood. And I wrote, begrudgingly giving props to this depiction of trauma. Because by that point in the book, I was so mad, I didn't want to give it points for anything. Okay? And sometimes I just had to, because it is, I can see what it's doing, and I understand, okay? I understand. I just hated every second of it.
For you.
Yeah, I just hated every second of it. However, like, for example, if say I were to finish this book, and it were to keep going the way it's going, in terms of, like, is it a good book? 4 out of 5. In terms of my enjoyment of the book, -7. -7 out of 5. Absolutely not. Okay, this is not for me. But I can appreciate that it is a good book. I just... it's like just... It's not even my heebies or jeebied. It's just like so...
You're icked.
Yeah, I'm so icked out and I couldn't do it. And I was so infuriated by the main character and her friend of how they're just like... They're so over the top obsessed with their own outsiderness. And just like, oh yeah, we're so like edgy and on the outside and no one understands us. And we have all these big feelings that only we feel. Like, come on. Be
Can
so
I ask
for
you
real.
something?
Yeah.
Did you, so I know it's a DNF, but
Yeah.
did you happen to read a plot summary after you decided it was a DNF?
No. Because I didn't want
Okay.
to. I know there's a bunch of murder that starts happening.
Well, yeah, but there's only one part that I wanted to specifically tell you about,
Okay, you tell me.
if you hadn't.
Mhm.
And it relates to Sam and Ava.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Ava real?
No,
Okay, I didn't think
Ava's
she
not
was.
real.
I didn't think she was.
No. So similar to how the bunnies turn bunnies into men, at one point Sam turned a swan into Ava. And so Ava isn't an actual person, it's just a depiction of like her grief as another person, basically.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so, oh, we're so quirky and
Yeah.
and like together in that way. Yeah, it's actually just her.
Yeah, I made a note about that. In the beginning of chapter 9, at page 72, I highlighted, "So you were a bunny," Ava said from behind her cloud of smoke when I told her. "I was not. You so were." She narrowed her eyes and pointed her cigarette at me. "It all makes sense now." And I highlighted it and wrote, "Is Ava dead, been dead this whole time, and this is just Sam's imagination? Or she was never real and was always a figment of Sam's imagination, and that's why she's kind of a pariah? People see her talking to herself to quote-unquote Ava and think she's nuts. But then what about Ava's place where she was living? Maybe she hasn't gone back there post-party because it doesn't really exist. Or there's been nothing from Ava because she doesn't really exist, and something happened at the smut salon to cut the delusion."
See, you're just that good.
I got that at page 72.
Like, yeah, like you got a good part of it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, eventually like Ava quote unquote helps Sam out of the delusion, but then Sam realizes that like she's actually even more alone because now she doesn't have the smut salon and she doesn't have Ava because Ava's not real. And then I think like her one like actual friend that's like an actual person also died. Yeah, basically Sam is just alone in the end.
Yeah, I could see that coming. And then another thing that clued me in was the tango class. Because the first time they talk about the tango class, it's just the two of them on a rooftop. And then the second time, on page 74, she says, "The tango class we go to is downtown in a walk-up studio that looks out onto dead trees and Sketch Street." And I wrote, what? I thought the tango class was just you and Ava on a rooftop dancing together, taking turns playing the part of a made-up man. Something's not right here. There was already, like, inconsistencies with time and place and the reality of...
Well, I didn't pick up on any of that when I read it, so it was a complete surprise.
No, I picked up on it immediately because I know... I'm trying to think of how to say this without making myself sound like a lunatic. I know what losing touch with reality looks like, and I know how that works in the brain because I just like have studied psych a lot. And so I'm seeing this and I'm like, oh, okay, so we're delusional. Got it.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so we have an unreliable narrator. In that way,
I've read so many of her annotations like that.
yeah.
You're just diagnosing them in the margins.
Yeah, actually, there was one note that I made. "Just answer the door, Samantha. Trust us this time, okay? Her face says it's about time you trusted us. Her face says that has been the problem thus far. Me, my lack of trust." And my note was, I can pull up a criminal psych textbook right now that lists this as a cult tactic. They make you feel like you're the problem so that you want to make it up to them and so that you don't trust your own judgment so they can have you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I could see it. All the psych stuff, it was in here. And it is cool. I'll give you that. The main character is just insufferable. And I can't get through the body horror. But but I can appreciate the psychological aspect of, like, someone being brainwashed. And I do have several begrudging notes being like, okay, fine. Fine. I guess it did it well. So yeah. Yeah, in terms of being a good book, 4 out of 5, solid. Assuming it continues the way it was going. But yeah, I did not enjoy. There are several annotations that are just like the sick emoji.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. And then some of them are just like a crying laughing emoji, like on page 96. Such a lovely day for October, isn't it? Like no one at all exploded. And I just put like a laughing emoji. And like, because sometimes Sam's internal monologue, when she's not being dramatic and insufferable, is quite funny. Yeah. So I enjoyed that a lot. And I feel like I learned a lot about you reading this.
Yeah, I chose this book for you partially because you had mentioned it like once offhand that you were like, oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And I just noted.
It is interesting. I just can't get through it.
Yeah. But I know it's one of those 0 or 100 books for a lot of people. And I'll be real, I felt like it was going to be a 0 for you. But I felt like it would be a good little step into the overly niche dystopian contemporaries that I read.
Well, it's not dystopian, because dystopian needs some kind of social regime, like government regime.
That's true.
Yeah. It's more like
but
cult.
Just like, yeah, the general spook.
Yeah, and it also, like you said, the brainwashing, like that was what unsettled me the most. Like I could get through that. For me, it's honestly the body horror and the like mutilation of poor little rabbits that I just couldn't get through it. But there was this one that I highlighted where it's dialogue where she's like talking with all of the bunnies, the women, and it says, Samantha, we're female artists, right? Right. So do you really want to be a passenger in someone else's narrative? They all look at me, waiting. There is a right answer to this question. Think, think, think. No? Smiles break over their faces like golden sunshine through frowny clouds. Of course you don't. You want to be empowered. You want creative agency. You want agency, period. Control over your art, over your life, bunny. All aspects of your life, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, even you want to fuck, not be fucked. Victoria says, Samantha, Eleanor intones, is this making sense? And like that rapid fire repetition with those almost hypnotic, no, you want this, you want this, you want this, and like just saying it over and over again. I just wrote the brainwashing is eerie, because like that's so...
That's exactly the mood of that book.
Yeah, it's the mood of that book, and I couldn't do it. It is by no means a bad book. It's just not for me.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, but make it culty.
Yeah, literally. And then, like the drugging was so obvious. Like when she's like, oh, this drink is kind of bitter. And then she just keeps drinking them. And then she's like, no, this is great. And then...
That was a no brain cell moment for Sam.
Yeah. Sam has so many, though. She's literally so dumb. And that's why I can't get behind her.
Yeah, I can't believe she's in college.
Yeah. Beginning of chapter 6, at page 49 in the edition I have. It says, how I got back here I do not remember. I recall headlights, a twitching pink nose, long gray-brown ears, the black gleaming bead of an animal eye, a sky-colored cocktail the size of my head being refilled and refilled by a girl with a rabbit face. And I just highlighted that and wrote, that's because you were drugged, babes. That's why you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Let's put 2 and 2 together, sweetie. I'm pretty sure you can do it.
Yep. A plus B.
Yeah. And then by the end of it, so there was the brainwashing is eerie annotation that I just mentioned. And then my annotations after that are, in order, page 108, pardon? Page 110, girl, what? Page 111, I hate it here. Page 114, nice people, my ass. Page 115, not the Taylor Swift reference. And I didn't annotate anymore after that when I kept reading because I just like couldn't I couldn't do it anymore. But yeah, it just devolved by the end. I was just like, you know what?
Fair.
No thoughts, just upset by the end.
Oh,
By the
fair.
end of where I read anyways. But I do give this book props for some of the stuff that it does. I just like could not get over the I'm not like other girls insufferable character. I can't cope. It was crazy.
Yeah, if it wasn't you freaking out about the bunnies, it was you freaking out about the I'm so special.
Yeah, like, girl, shut up. Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
then I genuinely got viscerally triggered by how pretentious, like, the descriptions of the workshops and the classes are, because I have genuinely been in classes like that before, and I got so upset.
bet.
I was like, no, this is taking me back, and I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Okay, I have been in classes with people who, from memory, cite literary criticism research articles randomly,
my
just
God.
from memory. Like, what is wrong with you? Just say it like a normal person. Like,
Yeah.
who quotes literary criticism from memory? Are you serious right now? Like, how are you gonna do that and take yourself seriously? I can't. Anyways, and then like the prof in this book, I've for sure had a prof like that. I remember her name. I'm not gonna name her, but like this woman, like in this class, we didn't have tables. Okay, we were in a large circle of chairs, no tables, and we would sit, and she would make us start every class with a guided meditation. Okay, and she would ask us to breathe through our feet.
That's BC for you.
And connect a beautiful silver string that we imagine coming down over the tops of our heads and down into our spinal column and out the bottoms of our feet with our breath through 3 levels of concrete down into the earth below. Like, these are the kinds of professors that I've had.
Okay, your professor was definitely a stoner.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That is the only information I need, and I know without a doubt.
Yeah. So like this professor, like the whole like abstract modern art sort of vibe, I could not cope because I was having like flashbacks and I couldn't deal with it. But those characters are like so played up, I guess. So like it's hard if this is meant to be dramatized and meant to be like satirical. 10 out of 10. Excellent job. I just can't get through it. But yeah, so like it's a good book. It was an experience. I feel like I learned a lot about you and I had fun annotating it. And
yeah.
Listen, it's a DNF, but it's a soft DNF.
Wow. Okay.
So if I ever finish it,
all right,
I'll tell you. But currently,
deal.
Currently, I'm reading Hades and Persephone. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
She sent me a couple photos of 2 pages earlier, and fair.
Yeah. Yeah. You also received a text from me earlier that just said, Jess, what in the Florida flu fever dream fuck is this? Like,
yes, I did.
I can't with this. She's like, it's literature. And I'm like, fuck off. It's not literature. I mean, it is. It is, and that's why I'm annoyed by it.
Yeah. Oh, that made my day.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. These have been my thoughts. I respect you so much for being able to read these things because I simply cannot.
Do you have any closing statements on Bunny by Mona Awad?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy, and I didn't even read the whole thing. But yeah, it was an experience, that's for sure. I was reminded why I don't read contemporary or literary fiction outside of my degree because that was a lot. But I did find that like my English lit interpretation brain was on looking into the psychological aspect and stuff like that, which I did appreciate. There are things I do appreciate. Don't get me wrong. Mona Awad, killed it.
Yeah, I think I've got some of her other books on TBRs and whatnot because I haven't read any of her other works yet, but I don't think it's as intense as Bunny, but she still like goes for those like unreliable narrators and whatnot. So
yeah, this honestly just felt like a fever dream.
Yeah, that's a common comment on that book. Common review, common thought.
Yeah. I didn't look at any reviews. I wanted to go in completely blind and I don't regret it.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, in our last episode, I know I mentioned Bunny, and there was one reviewer, I was like, this is gonna be Hannah. And it was, I want to be the type of reader that likes weird books, but I am not the reader that likes weird books.
No, I don't like weird books. Like, well, actually, well, okay, depends how you define weird. Okay, I do read monster romance, so that is pretty weird.
Yeah,
But I
Stuff by
don't,
the Were Turkey, hello.
don't call me out like that. Yeah, I, I like, I just don't like the like abstract, artsy, literary fiction weird books. I just don't like them.
I do.
I know you do, and I love that for you, and I support you in that, and I will keep reading stuff for genre swaps, and I promise it won't be a DNF every time. I just honestly I got to the part where they started killing bunnies and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
little heart, I couldn't.
They can't all be winners, and that's okay
Yeah.
because it was still an experience.
Yeah. And it
And
did make me feel things, and that's a sign of good literature. So
yeah,
I do
sure.
recognize it for that. I just didn't enjoy it. That's my final thought.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was Bunny by Mona Awad. We might be mispronouncing that last name, but it's really hard to say because I've never heard it out loud.
Yeah.
So,
So sorry.
up next is Bride by Ali Hazelwood.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
I'm actually really excited for this one. So, before I, hop in there, here's the description of it. Misery Lark, the only daughter of the most powerful vampire councilman of the Southwest, is an outcast. Again. Her days of living in anonymity among the humans are over. She's been called upon to uphold a historic peacekeeping alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemies, the Wares, and she sees little choice but to surrender herself in the exchange. Again. Wares are ruthless and unpredictable, and their alpha, Lo Morland, is no exception. He rules his pack with absolute authority, but not without justice, and unlike the Vampire Council, not without feeling. It's clear from the way he tracks Misery's every movement that he doesn't trust her. If only he knew how right he was. Because Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience, reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to get back what's hers, even if it means a life alone in Were territory, alone with the wolf.
Ooh. Ah, I love a marriage of convenience.
Yeah, so this was a monster romance,
Yeah.
paranormal romance,
Yep.
depending on what you consider it to be.
It's both of those things, I would say.
Yeah, I think it fits under both. So yeah, vampire meets werewolf, vampire marries werewolf, vampire 300 pages later fucks werewolf. And it's a really good time, okay? I I did not go into this expecting to love it.
I didn't think you would
I
either.
went into it going, this will be fine. 5 stars.
Yeah, we got her.
5 stars. Okay.
That
Yeah.
is shocking to me. I was expecting a
It's
DNF.
shocking to me.
If I'm being honest, I was expecting a DNF. I was expecting you to feel the same way about that I did about Bunny.
Okay, I didn't think that I was going to DNF it. I was confident that I could make it through 400 pages. I did get through Venko, so if I could do that, I can get through this. But then it was just so gripping. They had lore.
They
okay?
did.
They had lore. And it was quite literally bloody ass lore.
Yeah.
Okay. So going forward, spoilers. I'm going to talk all about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, pretty much the two species, the werewolves and the vampires, they had this basically history. They used to have marriages of convenience, like every generation to withhold this peace treaty, and then they eventually stopped doing that because the last one, the werewolf ended up killing the vampire at the wedding. And so they have The vampires have purple blood, whereas the werewolves have green blood. And they said that the blood mixing together looked like the flower, the aster. And so that's what they called this big, basically the red wedding in this book. And so obviously super high stakes. So I found that gripping.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some stakes.
Yeah, the political intrigue was there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I called this. He never said that he hated how she smelled. He never said it. Not once.
Nope.
She assumed. I caught that. Yeah. When she's like trying to listen in to his conversation after the wedding, and he knows that she's there, and then he like calls her over, and she's like, "Oh, I must smell like rotten eggs." He doesn't confirm that.
Nope.
And he just goes, "I can smell you." He doesn't say that it's bad ever. And so when eventually he says, and I quote, "I fucking love your scent." Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, you texted me.
I had a little happy wiggle because I was just like, "Ah, I knew it. I knew it. I was right."
Yeah.
I'm like, I knew this was coming. So yeah, that was great. And I was thinking about the scene where Misery tries to save Anna from one of the werewolves that is basically committing treason.
Oh, Anna's the kid, right? His little sister or something?
Yeah, Anna's the kid. And she goes outside in daylight, barefoot, to go save this little girl. And she's like, "I don't even know why I'm doing this fucking kid." And she does save her. And then all of the werewolves are like, "Okay, I guess you're kind of cool.
I guess you all right. I guess you can stay.
I guess you're fine. Like, fuck it, we ball, I guess." And that was just so wholesome. And, okay, so we've talked before about possessiveness.
Yes. Did you experience your first "my wife" moment?
My wife. Yeah. Yeah. Anytime anyone would touch Misery, Lo would come in and he'd go, "What are you doing to my wife?" But like deeper and manlier than that, because I'm not a 6'6" bulky ass werewolf.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Yeah.
And then this was also my introduction to nodding.
Right.
If you don't know what that is, you don't need to Google it.
Just read Bride. It's a good intro.
Yeah, just read Bride. Don't Google it. Please.
Please don't Google it. Okay, I made
Don't
the
worry
mistake
about
of
it.
Googling it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. If you're not going to read Bride, just don't worry about it. Just skip over the next like minute and a half here.
Yeah.
But anyway, I learned what nodding is. I thought it had to do with rope. Turns out it doesn't. I fully assumed that it did for a very long time. And when you were reading Bride and you told me about nodding, and you just went, "Oh my God, I'm reading about this stuff," and I just went, "Okay."
And what about it?
Yeah,
That's
like
not special.
All right, you want like anything more than that? Like, come on. Because I assumed you were talking about rope.
No,
but I get it now. I get it, and we're with it. So, 5 stars. An unexpected 5 stars at that, which makes it even more exciting, to be honest. I loved the lore. I loved the like adventure thrill of it, because like she was like telling him to take her with him into these like dangerous situations, and he was like, "I'm not happy about this," and she goes, "That's fine, I can take care of myself," and he's like, "But you're my wife." And I can't say that without just doing the voice. But it was a lot of fun. I would read something like this again. I don't know if Ali Hazelwood does any other more monster or paranormal romance. I haven't seen any like that.
No, she
Like, it seems to all just be like regular-ish romance.
she does
Or
women
like,
in STEM. So
yes,
yeah, it's
yes.
it's like women in STEM with some kind of
Like, I went
academic
through your reading
setting.
log today, so I know I saw a lot of Ali Hazelwood in there, but
Yeah.
Bride was the only one with monsters.
Yeah, that was the first one that she's ever written, and I believe she plans on writing more.
I was gonna say she should do another.
Yeah, she should. She should really keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I need that. Yeah.
She really hit her stride with that one.
Yeah, I've read she's the only author where I've read almost her entire catalog.
Impressive, impressive.
How did you feel about the feeding?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I I thought it was really cool, especially when they brought in the biological aspects to it.
Uh-huh.
So, as I've mentioned, I am taking a medical course, and so I find biology fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they were talking about when Misery was feeding from Low, and then she told her brother about it, and he was going, "Oh, like, you shouldn't do that again. You only do that when, you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person." And even then, like, it's pretty fucking weird because the more that she feeds off of him, the more it's almost like antibodies would like build up in her that like attaches her to him emotionally, mentally, etc., hormonally. So I thought that was really cool, how they sort of like explained that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was fascinating. And then I totally knew that Misery was his mate. Like,
what
about 150 pages before she figured it out.
What did it for you?
What did it for me was that when Misery was talking to, oh, I don't remember her name. It was one of the female wares, and she mentioned Lo's mate, and she's like, yeah, like, I know that his mate was the collateral for the vampires, like Gabby, right? And she just went, yeah, Gabby, his mate.
Right.
And I just went, that's not his mate.
No.
That ain't it.
No.
Yeah. So that's when I figured it out, and I was just like, he definitely doesn't hate how she smells. And that's definitely not his mate. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then when Lo tried to leave Misery there, and when they finally fucked in her apartment, and he all of a sudden just went, you need to leave. Like, we're done. This is done. I didn't mean it.
Uh-huh.
Like, emotionally, all. I was, like, making annotations where I was like, so this is a lie to push her away because now you're scared that you have feelings.
Yeah.
I was right.
Wasn't it more so just that he was concerned for her physical safety because of the whole nodding thing?
He felt that she would feel pressured to stay with him. So what happened is she confronted him on the fact that she is his mate, and he immediately just went, no, you've misunderstood the situation. Actually, we're done. Because he didn't want her to feel pressured to be in the relationship knowing that he had that urge, that like compulsion towards her.
Right.
And so he only wanted her to be in the relationship with him if he felt that that truly was her decision, and not because she felt pressured, knowing that if she chose not to, he would have this like emptiness in him.
Right.
Because werewolves only get that one connection, right? And so it was him just wanting to make sure that she wanted to be in the relationship. But it was a boy brain way to do it. Okay?
Yeah, a boy brain is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it was a boy brain way to go about it.
It was boy logic.
Yeah.
And it came from a good place, but
but it was still boy brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've got a few highlights.
Okay.
My first one is page 49. And it says, "What I am is an adult woman with agency and the tools to make choices. Feel free to, treat me accordingly." And it's like, oh, go off.
It's giving Jane Eyre in that one line.
Yeah, yeah. "I am no bird and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being of independent will, which I now exert to leave you."
Wow, you really have that on lock.
Yeah, I do. I've got it
In the
ready to go at any time.
in the brain bank.
Yeah, yeah. You know it's good when you can just rattle it off.
Yeah.
Page 107 says, "Read a book, Pointy." And I was just like, word.
Who said that to who?
One of the wearers when Misery first arrived in werewolf territory, and she was just like, okay, like, what am I gonna do while I'm here for a year in this one room?
Right.
Where it's werewolves everywhere. And he went, "Read a book, Pointy."
Right. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
love that.
Here's one that's, dipping into the spicier territory. Page 188 says, "May I touch you?" He's asking for permission, but there's nothing insecure or tentative about it.
Oh,
And it's just like, oh,
I
respectful and confident.
I love Lo for that. Lo is one of my, again, favorite book boyfriends. Like top
He's
10.
so good.
He's so good. He is like he is
Yeah.
the epitome of consent but make it hot.
Yeah, the very next page is, "I fucking love your scent."
Yeah. I love that book so
Yeah.
much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm a simple gal, okay? As long as there's no exploding heads. As long as there's no exploding heads, I'll be entertained.
There we go. Oh, here's a really funny one, which sort of throws back to our episode on tropes. So page 196, "There's one bet which will luckily not lead to any weird sharing situation because I'll disappear into the closet the second the sun is up." And I went, ha 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 ha, take that one bed trope, suck my dick. Literally says that.
Oh my god, yeah. We all know how much you love that trope.
Exactly. So I discovered that, a good way to kick that trope in the nuts, vampires.
Vampires are where it's at. I never used to be a vampire girly, and then this year I read.
I think I might be though.
Yeah, this year, like we talked about Carmilla. I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is another vampire one. I read Zodiac Academy that has 2 really hot vampires in it, and then now this, and I'm like, ooh.
Honestly, just between Carmilla and Bride, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one's just like kind of sweet. So it's page 253. "She told him vampires do not dream, and yet, once her midday rest is over and the evening approaches, her sleep becomes fitful, agitated. His touch seems to comfort her, and the thought fills him with pride and purpose."
Lo.
And it's like, oh my god.
I love Lo. I love Lo so much.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah. So I really liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would, but I really did. I really did.
Yeah. I think the key for you is like darker themes, violence with the romance.
Yeah. I liked the tension build in this one as well. I felt like it was well done. What's really funny is I know a lot of the 1-star reviews on this one was just saying not enough smut.
Yeah.
And like, sure, they could have fucked earlier. But also, it was so good once they did that I wasn't even mad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, forgiven.
Yeah. It was a marketing problem because it was marketed as like this like insanely smutty book, and then like all the dark romance girlies who are used to literally the first scene on page 20 read it and were like, what are you talking about? And then like a lot of people were mad about it, but like that's not the point of the book. There are some like dark romances where like that is the point of the book. You're just there
for it. Yeah.
And this was just not that. It was great.
No, that was just like a fun part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was definitely just about the slow build and
So
the
you like a
tension
slow
and like
burn.
I like both, but I didn't think I would, to be honest, but like just the way that this one was done and the fact that you can tell that it was inevitable, but it was just like, how did they get there?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
it was good.
already
It was
choosing the
good.
next genre swap book for you in my head based on these reviews.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it stars like I'm Oprah.
Nice.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
I'm so happy. I'm so glad. I really thought you were gonna hate it.
I'm glad that I didn't because otherwise that would have been a long 400 pages. But
Yeah.
no, I read it in like 3 days.
Yeah. Well, we are allowed to DNF at halfway if we give it a solid chance with the genre swaps. So
Yes, we have decided.
so you could have stopped.
A solid fighting chance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I was very pleased with it.
Yeah. I'm so glad. Ugh, and then that also just like helps me because I can show you the world.
Shining, shimmering, splendid.
Yeah. Yeah, I can show you the world, okay? I have book recommendations for you, okay? If you just want your romance to come with violence, I got you. I got you, okay? Say less. Like that's all you needed? Okay.
Apparently.
I got you. You need a mystery and some political intrigue and some murder with your romance? Literally,
Yeah.
I'm so shocked you're not a romantic girly.
I just need murder with a side of dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Ugh, that's great. Genre swap number 2.
Yay.
Woo.
And one new thing that we wanted to mention was we have set up a fable for the badly annotated. So on Fable, you can find us if you just look up badly annotated. We should hopefully come up. It's still new, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But you can find it through the link tree in our Instagram bio. But we've added nearly all of both mine and Hannah's reading collectively, so all of our read books.
I'm really nervous about it because
Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought you were making it out to be.
I am just nervous for
See, you've already talked about the worst on the pod though.
Yeah, but the pod is different, okay? People have to get through hours and hours and hours of listening in order to find it. Right? On Fable, you just look it up and it's right there.
So yeah, I've just added the titles and then we'll continue to periodically update it with our recent reads. We'll probably add some reviews for the recent reads or at least ratings, just to, add a little bit more spice. But yeah, we just updated it with pretty much just backlogging all of our cumulatively read books. So that's really exciting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we can log what we're currently reading too. So like if anyone wanted to like peep what we're currently reading and read with us, email me.
Yeah, and I believe Fable also allows book clubs. So if anyone wanted to do, genre swaps with us, or if we wanted to do like a discussion group for like our holiday readathons or anything like that, we absolutely can. So yeah, it's just something new, something fun. We might be able to do some stuff with it.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in like reading along or doing some kind of discussion, let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to. So, with that, you can message us on Instagram or Threads at Badly Annotated Pod, or you can email us at badlyannotatedpod@gmail.com, and you can find all of our links for streaming and now Fable via the link in our Instagram bio. And with that, bestest of wishes, kindest of regards.
Sincerely, Jess and Hannah.